On behalf of the Hawaii State Legislature's Keiki Caucus, we would like to welcome you. We are here today to discuss the Streamlined Sales and Use Tax Law in Hawaii and how Senate Bill 2405 can help collect taxes that are already owed to the state. The Keiki Caucus is supportive of this effort to collect taxes already owed. In 1969, the Hawaii State Legislature passed the use tax that required us to pay a tax whenever we purchased something outside of the state of Hawaii through a catalog, and now more recently through the internet and other means. Last year, the National Conference of State Legislatures calculated that $245.5 million was not collected by our state. This is a significant amount of revenues already owed the state. Hundreds of thousands of children and youth in Hawaii are being impacted by the cuts that have already been made in public education, child care, higher education, public health services, youth services, homeless services, and public assistance, to name a few. At this time, I would like to ask my co-chair, co-convener of the Keiki Caucus to say a few words. Representative Mizu.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Aloha. Welcome to the Hawaii State Capitol. Think about Furlough Fridays. If we collected the $245 million, would this even be an issue? Not to mention our critical services that are needed in this most difficult time. Again, this is not a new tax. It's just uncollected tax. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Alex Santiago from Caucus, Lisa Maruyama from Hano, Gail Breakey from the Hawaii Healthy Start to say a few words.
Okay, I guess I go first. Well, I want to thank the legislators who have courageously put this forward. I think during this very difficult time, there is some concern in the community about the need to balance the budget, and those of us in Focus who really represent the most vulnerable out there, very concerned about how we're going to balance the budget. So this would go a long way in helping that. So thank you very much for pushing this.
Good afternoon, I'm Lisa Maruyama from the Hawaii Alliance of Nonprofit Organizations, or HANO. HANO is a professional association that supports the nonprofit sector. It tries to unite and strengthen the nonprofit sector as a collective voice to improve the quality of life in Hawaii. HANO, of course, is supportive of measures going through the legislature this session that will be revenue generating, of course, and so this bill, in particular Senate Bill 2405, does just that. It infuses more revenue in an impactful way, and of course it prevents the possibility of the budget being balanced, as well as it strengthens the compact between state government and the nonprofit sector, and it allows, or it prevents really the sector from having to do things like lay off its employees, which before this crisis happened, actually the nonprofit sector in Hawaii rivaled state government in the size or the number of employees that it had in its sector. So it prevents those types of layoffs, and of course it prevents us from having to cut back critical services to those that are most in need. I'd like to mention that particularly HANO supports all nonprofits, not just health and human services, but also education groups, ag groups, conservation groups, arts and culture, civic groups, think tanks, you name it, we cover it. So I just wanted to thank this initiative, this group, for trying to support and usher this bill through. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gail Breakey, and I'm the director of the Hawaii Family Support Institute, and I wanted to speak in regard to and on behalf of young children. Hawaii has always had a very, very advanced early childhood agenda, early childhood programs. We were the innovators of the Healthy Start program that became Healthy Families America. We've always had strong preschool programs. We have a preschool voucher program, and we have had an excellent early intervention program. Almost all of these are severely decimated by the current cuts. And just this afternoon at 2:30, the Department of Health is going to be holding a hearing on eligibility cuts for 0 to 3. That means that a lot more children with developmental delays that have already been identified will not be receiving services. This is devastating for the future of our state. We talk about children being our future. We have no child abuse prevention services except for 2 sites. We have great cuts in our early intervention program. There are going to be thousands more children than already are not ready for school when they enter kindergarten. These are things we can't afford to do. These are going to impact both our social services in the future and also our economy, because we're going to have more and more people that are dependent, that need social services and can't keep up with the 21st century workforce. So we really need this bill, and we need more. We need to collect uncollected income tax. The state really needs to make a commitment to its children, and doing this will be a big step forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on some of our business partners. We have today Carol Craigell from the Retail Merchants, as well as Myong and Craig Hurai from the Realtors, as well as Dick Waddy from the Retail Association. So if you could please come forward and say a few words. Thank you.
I'm Carol Craigell from Retail Merchants of Hawaii. Our association, our industry, has supported this type of legislation for about 8 years now. But we do it from a standpoint of, in addition to looking for revenue for the state, from a standpoint of leveling the playing field, creating an equal playing field for our brick and mortar retailers as well as our remote sellers, internet and catalog. Retail industry in Hawaii employs 23% of the workforce, and this bill will give us the opportunity, the latitude, the revenue, the break that we need to make sure that our employees, we can continue to employ the Hawaiian people in our industry. Thank you.
I'm Dick Waddy, and we represent about 1,100 businesses throughout the state. And for us, it's all about competition. If somebody can order something from the mainland over the internet and avoid the taxes, it creates an unfair playing field, and this will help level it. And we need this type of legislation. Should have been passed a long time ago. But if you look at what's happening in the internet, sales are continuing to rise, and it's going to continue to be that way. Thank you.
I'm Miyamo with the Hawaii Association of Realtors. For years, we have supported this measure, the Streamlined Sales Tax Project, as well as the senators in the House and the House members. We believe that at this time, the state is in critical need of additional funding. These are taxes owed to the state, unpaid taxes from the use tax, and we believe that through the bricks and mortars, retailers will be at an even playing field. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to invite my colleagues, if any of you would like to say a few words.
Just by way of background, Carol Fukunaga, Chair of the Economic Development and Technology Committee, about 20 years ago, when the Supreme Court first ruled on a case involving out-of-state commerce, at that time, the Supreme Court said it was an unfair burden to ask out-of-state retailers to collect the taxes that were due when residents purchased goods from out-of-state. But today, most of us are familiar with Amazon, eBay, and all manner of internet retailers, and with technology, we now have a way to help our local tax departments collect the taxes that are due, help level the playing field for all of our local businesses, and preserve those programs that are at the core of government services. So we'd like to thank you for being here today. Aloha.